You join us on board this Tarquin Trader 535 Sunliner as she departs Plymouth and cruises around the British Isles to her final destination, Great Yarmouth in Norfolk. On this, the first part of her journey between Plymouth and Weymouth Harbour. I can't do this dramatic voiceover to save me bloody life. You see, regular Captain's Blog viewers will know that when I do a voiceover, there's usually a good reason. And in this case, as you can see, the reason's silence. You see, listening to feedback, I've invested in a brand new camera and a brand new professional mic complete with a windsock to cut all that annoying wind noise on the microphone down that you just hate. And on this epic journey, a once-in-a-lifetime adventure with the crew, all of the weeks of planning, the labour, the toiling, preparing the boat and everything, come the day, come the moment, I forget to turn the damn microphone on. And so minute after minute, scene after scene, we have silence. So here am I. And I'm going to be talking to the camera, but you can't hear a word. So rather than throw this out onto the editing bedroom room cutting floor, I'm going to do some scenic sea bits with some music if you don't mind. Sorry for the entire cock up. Okay, so welcome to possibly the start of this vlog, because I've just remembered that in order to use the camera's outside microphone, you've got to turn it on. And although I've done some filming earlier, I hadn't got the outside microphone on. So I have no idea if there was any audio recorded earlier, and if it was, it would have come from the internal microphone on the camera. So let's give you a roundup, just in case nothing did work earlier, of what's going on and where the bloody hell we are. So it's Friday the 2nd of February, and I'm not quite sure of the time, I'm afraid, but we left Plymouth at 08:34 this morning after a short delay because of we couldn't get the upper helm, the commander unit, to take control, to work basically. I refused. So we had to exit the marina, through the lock and out into sea from the inside helm. The inside helm is the main helm obviously, and it's where at the present time we've got autopilot on. I'm joined at the moment with my mum, husband Simon, Pete the Wizard, Brian, Charlie, his brother Howard, and myself. I've done a live video for the NBN Facebook group, but as I say, the main issue I've got at the present time is worrying about the footage I took earlier not having come out. So this is where we are. So as you can see at the present time, we are off the beautiful coast. It's a lovely day today. It's a bit chilly, but it is February after all. But the sun is out, there's no rain, and it's not particularly windy. Just noticed there a fishing pot. One of the nice things about this boat though is you can come out to the sun deck and be in complete safety, but just enjoy the passage almost, you know. We're doing about 12 knots at the moment. That's about 2,200 RPM. as we've been going on, we've been going for about 2.5 hours, the swell has sort of increased. I wouldn't really call it that much of a swell, but as you'll notice, the rolling motion, shall we say, has increased. So we're now about 45 nautical miles from the next waypoint, not from Weymouth, but we're not too far. We're crossing Lyme Bay at the moment, and I'm really sorry that I haven't been able to do as much filming, but I've been busy on the helm. We've been avoiding fishing pots, 3 trawlers. We're out of range of AIS, both to send and receive, because we're now too far from land to reliably pick up a good data signal. The weather's got better though, and now we're into more of a head sea. It's coming on our sort of port bow to a degree, but it's now gone to a very much up and down motion rather than a rolling left and right motion. Whilst holding a camera and you're at sea is a new challenge. Just try and hold on to something, brace yourself, hold the camera and talk. Here comes Pete. So I think Howard's up there, he's keeping watch for boys, lobster pots, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to zip my fleece and try and get up the stairs. Have to time it because of the motion of the boat. Tries to knock you off. So we're now halfway across Lyme Bay, and the wind conditions are coming across like this. We have a beam sea at the moment, and the chop, the wind and the rolling is getting steadily more apparent, as you can probably tell. It's a sort of a twisting motion as she rolls, and the camera actually doesn't do justice. It sort of flattens things out and distorts perspectives to the conditions. The longer that we've got this wind blowing, obviously, then the greater the influence it will have on the sea state. I'm just here braced with my right hand on the steps up to the fly bridge, and maybe this position will give you a better example of the rolling that we've got going on. Obviously I'm moving in relative motion to the camera, so you might not get the best idea, but not a great deal to sort of say or show other than this though, because there's virtually we're out of sight of land. You can just see it, but it's basically just sea and a few more hours of this. So we're not too far to go. We've broken the back of the journey. You can see over here on the plotter, that's Plymouth and Bill, and that's where we are. But we are now pushing rather a large tide, so the chop's got a bit more. As you can see, it's just starting to break over the bow a little bit now. So we've upped our revs. We're now doing 2,500 RPM, and we're heading into the tide. We can now see Plymouth and Bill, the lighthouse, and clearly the island as well. Just had some ham sandwiches, and doing well in these conditions. The autopilot's certainly got his work cut out, trying to keep us on a course. We're trying to keep a 73-degree course, sometimes up to 7-8 degrees of counter rudder having to be put in by the autopilot, but it hasn't sort of gone off or, you know, been unable to cope with things. So as you can see, everybody's just chilling out here. I'll show you out the front of the screens, holding the camera, talking to it, looking in the lens and everything else when there's all of this sort of chop and action going on, so you've got to concentrate. A bit different to the captain's blogs on an Norfolk Broad. Got Howard here that's on the plotter. Currently doing speed over ground at 10.4 knots, and we're in just under 50 metres of of water, big roll now, and to starboard. This is what's known as being quite a wet boat because of the shape of the hull. You'll have quite a lot of spray coming over. We've got a 7, just heard there, 7 to 8 knot tide running against us. This is the famous Portland race that we're approaching. Everything seems to be rock solid with the engines. The fuel gauges haven't moved, but that doesn't mean anything because we have certainly burnt some fuel today. Also had the generator running to provide us 240 power, keeping everything going. Cooking obviously requires 240 volt. We haven't got gas on this boat. So I'll take you outside briefly, but we're making good progress. ETA 1630. So I'm outside now, as you can see, and the weather conditions have worsened just a little bit. The wind's got up, but we're really going through this big swell now. It's a short swell, but it's a big swell, and the boat really is rocking and rolling. So I'll try and get some shots of some of that in a moment, but a lot of salt spray now swirling around in the sun deck area. We've increased our speed, which has helped to a degree with the roll, but when the roll does happen now, it's a much greater roll. So this is our longest stretch between Plymouth and Weymouth, as in distance wise, in a single run. Tonight about 11:30 Sheila will be arriving in Weymouth and joining us between Weymouth and Brighton. And there's a welcoming committee, or certainly at least 1, 2, I don't know, some people that have been following us on forums that are going to be meeting us at Weymouth when we arrive. So I'll show you what the sea conditions are like outside and get some more of this footage, but you know, really and truly it is just sea, waves, wind, hour after hour, so there's not much to see or point out or, you know, do. Okay, so this is the conditions at the moment. As you can see, with our increased speed, we've got a larger Wakem wash behind us, and some of the waves have just come out of nowhere over here. The wind and waves are coming from this direction, and all of a sudden you'll find, you know, a rogue one that's quite big, and will just take the boat where it wants to take it. But she picks herself up, even if everything else and everyone else on the boat goes for a burton. So I'm going to attempt to go up to the fly bridge one-handedly whilst holding the camera. Oh no, I can't do it yet. Too much of a roll. And I don't want to bruise myself with another, well, let's be honest with it, vagina. Right, oh bloody hell. So before us, I'm just going to brace myself somewhere, is the Isle of Portland. Oh, this is much more difficult than I thought it might be. So there is, if you can see, Portland Bill and the island of Portland there. So we have to go around that and then head in, effectively doing a left once we pass Portland Bill. I know some of you, you know, might like to have more of a cinematic production of the captain's log on these voyages, but it is difficult. It's getting used to a new camera setup, and also because for me this is my first long passage at sea, so you know, getting used to how the boat handles, how I handle the conditions. Brian was feeling a little bit unwell earlier. My mum had some seasickness tablets and they sort of knocked her out a bit, but she's come back round again now and doesn't seem to be too bad. My microphone covers got covered with salt and it's all clumped together. Let's see if I can make it here. Let's see if I can hold on somewhere. See some of the action from up here. It's amazing how the boat will be doing 10.5, 11 knots, hit something like that and then almost stop, really get thrown forward. So if you want to Google the Portland race, you might find out more about this, but basically the tides around here are quite treacherous and should be very respected, especially because they come down from the headland here whilst you have exceptionally deep water out to this side that's shallow suddenly, and combined the tide, the wind, the shallows gets a very confused sea state. Now, especially if you're a sailor and you're sailing here, it can also become very difficult, and so planning your journey here, I've read a lot, you know, for sailing folk to come at a slack water or not much after and take the inner route, which sort of is much more hugging of the coast and the bill itself. There's also a sandbank up here called the Shambles, and that's a big one that we have to watch out for. So this is approaching one of the more challenging parts of our whole passage. The next challenging part will be Dover area, Ramsgate, the Thames estuary. What you don't realise is that you just get slowly covered with salt spray that dries. So my glasses, the camera lens, everything, you know, has this sort of peppering of salt spray, and then you lick your lips and you taste salt all the time, and then your lips start to dry out and stuff. So Howard's coming to join me, but it's been a good day. Basically we've made the time we thought we were going to make. We were half an hour delayed with the throttle issue, and we've remained half an hour behind schedule pretty much all the way. For anybody that's been following us on things like marine traffic and stuff, and what happened, you know, you disappeared off the radar, so to speak. We've been so far from land, we've been out of mobile phone signal range, and as a result of that I have no data connection, so it can't update where we are. But as we come in towards land, we'll pick up that mobile reception again, and we should be once again transmitting our position. about 10 minutes ago. All was calm, I mean much calmer, and all of a sudden I didn't think the boat was going to come back again. She went over to her port side and just carried on going over and over and over, and well, the sort of saloon is just, everything's everywhere. Not, I mean, like the table went for a burn, the charts flipped off everywhere, the autopilot just shut down, the plotter lost GPS fix, and the bilge pumps become active. It was like a real sort of bloody hell, what the hell's just happened? But as you can see, we're still going. She came back. Charlie Griffin was up top, sat down on the port side like this, and he became standing up in his seat. That's how far she went over. So yes, we can talk about it now. But we are now within the shelter of Portland. I'll show you. So we'd come way round here and we're on target for you know, heading in as we are now, and the weather is, as you can see, much calmer seas, everything's fine, and out of nowhere this just bit of swell and wave just picked her up and you know, tried her best to fling her over. So I don't know what to really think at the moment. You know, is that a good thing for future reference, that if that happens she will pick herself up again, or what? But I imagine the reason why she the bilge pumps became active was because possibly we went over and the engine air intake baffles on the port side may have taken in a good deal of water into the bilges. That's not to say that the engine air take comes directly from there. That breathes the engine room, if you like. It's behind the fuel tanks. But directly underneath those baffles is the bilge. So that's what's happened. Got the wind basically on the bow coming straight towards us here, and we're just coming up on our port side to Portland Harbour, and once we're around there we'll be able to see Weymouth Bay. Everything's really being buffeted by the wind at the moment up here, as you can tell. The camera's shaking because of it. This is actually a side of Portland I've never seen.